You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about Micah Parsons, Bart Scott, T. Higgins, and Damar Hamlin. Of course, Bart Scott went on ESPN television. He's one of their pundits. Used to be a linebacker for the Ravens, Jets. I liked Bart Scott as a player. Can't wait. But he went on TV and gave one of the biggest clown show takes we ever seen in our entire life. He accused T. Higgins of laying an illegal hit onto Damar Hamlin that caused the injury, the collapse, and, of course, the cardiac arrest on Damar Hamlin. Now, I think we all pretty much realize it was a complete freak incident, you know. If you go back, he said that he laid the helmet in. Look, initially I thought the helmet glazed in on the chest too, right? And a lot of people, we still don't know exactly what happened. I mean, there could be other reasons why this happened. Could even be off the field related. We don't know, okay? They don't know for sure at all. But what we do know from looking at still frames, all this different stuff out there, that this absolutely was not a dirty hit. Okay, it was not an intentionally malicious hit. It was in no way an illegal hit. In fact, it was just like a 1 in a million kind of situation where the heart stopped, right, during a tackle. Well, Bart Scott, as you can imagine, he caught a lot of fire for that, right? A lot of fire. Well, enter in Micah Parsons. I love Micah Parsons. I do. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but John Matrix can attest to this. I'm big into the draft. I'm big about talking about the draft. And that night, coming up on Dallas's pick in the draft, I sent John a message and I said, you guys would be smart to take Micah Parsons right here. He is going to be the best player coming out of this draft, the best defensive player far and away. I said the dude is a potential defensive player of the year eventually. And that's exactly what he's been. This dude is an all-world jack of all trades out on the field. And, hey, he caught a lot of blowback when he bravely went out there and hauled out Joe Biden for having traded Brittney Griner and leaving Paul Whelan behind. Now, he came back and he had to back off of that because you could tell he took a lot of scrutiny over it. I mean, the freaks on Twitter blasted Micah Parsons. The media started blasting Micah Parsons, and they went into full cancel culture mode on him because he said what a lot of us said, bullshit, about leaving Paul Whelan behind for Brittney Griner. Let's look at this. Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons came to the defense of Cincinnati Bengals wideout T. Higgins. It's crazy that anybody's having to defend T. Higgins. T. Higgins did nothing wrong here. Damn good wide receiver, too. After a former NFL player and current ESPN analyst, Bart Scott, suggested he was to blame in part for Damar Hamlin collapsing on the field during Monday night's game. Parsons responded to a video of Scott's comments on Twitter Tuesday, calling Hamlin's cardiac arrest, quote, a freak accident. Absolutely. Absolutely. If it was not something medically that happened off the field and not even anything to do with something that happened on the field. And blasted Scott for suggesting Higgins was responsible in any way. Here we go. Yo, are we serious right now? Of course, he's talking about Bart Scott. Why do we let some people speak on TV? This was a freak accident. But putting fault on another player is wild. They should make some of these guys go over lines or something, or not even give them a seat at the table. Oh, good God. Absolutely nuts. During Tuesday's broadcast, Scott explained that Higgins lowered his head before making contact with Hamlin's chest. He did lower his head, but it wasn't his helmet that made the contact. It was his shoulder. Quote, right before the tackle, Higgins lowers his helmet. He kind of throws his body into Hamlin's chest. It was textbook. It was not illegal at all. Scott began to explain. He's standing up because he's thinking he's got to chase T. Higgins at an angle to make a tackle, so he didn't expect T. Higgins to launch his body back into him. The NFL has tried to take the head out of the game. We almost don't think of violent hits. We always associate with defensive players and targeting and lowering the head, but they did put in the rule maybe 5 years ago that offensive players can't use crowns of the helmet as a weapon, which is kind of what T. Higgins did. No, he didn't. Not even slightly, not even remotely. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that he went on TV and made this take, because it's like, did you even see the play? Did you even look at the play? You got all these resources at the mothership up there. You used none of them. When I did that video the other day, all it took me was getting on Twitter. I found 2 still frames, and you could see exactly what happened. Scott did say he wasn't trying to blame Higgins. Well, but yeah, you were. Okay, yeah, you were. However, the clip of his comments evoked fierce backlash on social media, including from Parsons. Does not even consider how T. Higgins feels before airing some bullshit like that. That traumatic event he just went through. I swear some of these TV guys have too much egos on these stages we give them. Doctor says Wednesday that they received, quote, promising readings that they had been hoping to see, ESPN reported, citing Jordan Rooney and the Hamlin family. Rooney reported that it appeared progress was made. I know one of the fears in all this is when you lose oxygen like that, or when the heart stops, organs, brain, things like that can start taking on damage. And I think it's one of the fears. We want to see this kid come back, be completely healthy, let him continue to live his dream of playing in the NFL. And he seemed like a hell of a kid. The entire country showed up on his charity, $6 million in donations. It's just ridiculous that anybody went out there and blamed T. Higgins for this. T. Higgins is going to carry this play in this event like the Bills and the Bengals. Look, none of us, even as NFL fans, or if we talk about the sport or anything else, we're carrying this one thing with us forever. Okay, just like I was talking about in the video yesterday, Mike Utley, I can still remember him being paralyzed on a field in 1991 for the Detroit Lions. I can still remember it, and I was 13 years old. I'm 47. You get the point. I'm always going to remember this as a football, as a consumer of sports. You know? Jesus, it's absolutely nuts. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Good job, Micah Parsons. I mean, good job not giving a damn, going out there and firing on Bart Scott. Now, just like I said the other day about Skip Bayless, just like I said about Bart Scott, these guys should not be canceled over bad takes. A bad take is a bad take is a bad take. But, yeah, trying to get these people deplatformed and run them off their shows and all that, that is also bullshit. All right? So to Dez Bryant, cancel Skip Bayless. No, F you, dude. It was a bad take. That's all it was, Dez Bryant. I mean, Skip still deserves a bigger platform as anybody else. He's worked all these years. It shouldn't all be ripped away from him. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First. 25% off USA First. Go now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.